Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Tuxedo Park. We have 3 trustees present in person, so we have a quorum, including myself. So would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor Citrin? I guess he's not there yet.
No, they cut us off.
Start again, maybe?
Start again.
Okay, I'll start again. Mayor Citrin,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Lindsay,
Present.
Trustee Shara,
Present via Zoom.
Trustee Tenari,
Present.
and Trustee Turner.
Present via Zoom.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for attending. We initially scheduled this special meeting to discuss the bids for the karting contract. At the request of Village Council, we are postponing that agenda item to our regular meeting on November 20th. So the first item on the agenda is the New York Power Authority, and I would turn to the Deputy Mayor and hand her the floor, so to speak.
Okay, so we have a contract to, since our 1-year purchase agreement from New York Power Authority for electricity supply is expiring November 30th. So our new contract has the new rates, which is basically 7.97 cents per kilowatt for 1 year, or 8.1 cents per kilowatt for a 2-year contract. And I would recommend the 2-year contract because last year we had a 1-year contract at 6.1 cents, and we decided to only go with 1 year. And if we had gone for a longer term, we'd still be paying less than 7 cents. But obviously, we all know rates are going up. And so the new contract I would recommend is the 2-year. And we got a cost comparison. We have 2 cost comparisons. One I sent from New York Power Authority. They did a 12-year comparison between Orange and Rockland and New York Power Authority rates. Even though we haven't been, at the time of this comparison, we had not been in contract with them for 12 months, but they did historical data, and it showed a savings of $41,978 on using NYPA as our electricity supply. And another comparison that was just sent to me this afternoon showed, let me get that one up. From Claudia. Oh, thank you. Showed 28,233. That's just the period January through September. So we have been saving saving money on our electricity supply by using NYPA, which is renewable and mostly hydro. So, any questions? Recommendations or thoughts?
Just for the record, what facilities within the village have been using NYPA power?
We have, let's see. I think she put them all on here.
That's all the same copy.
Yeah.
It's across the top of the
Sorry.
page, isn't it? The actual sources.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I knew it was somewhere.
12.
DPW shop, sewer plant, police headquarters, pump 1 at the water treatment, village hall, and the mountain farm pump. So there's 6.
And as you indicated, it's primarily renewables?
Yes, it is.
Hydropower.
It's mostly hydropower, and the rest are renewables, which would be, wind and solar.
So one question that I had,
Mhm.
because the rates went up, it's now above the last 12 months, Orange and Rockland.
Mhm.
Do we have a forecast? Because we all assume Orange
Yeah.
and Rockland's gonna go up, but it's hard to compare the go forward, which is more expensive versus the previous Orange and Rockland.
Exactly. Yeah, we
Our
don't.
retail Orange and Rockland goes up, so.
Exactly, and we have seen some months that have been like 12 cents. There was, I think it was August. So they don't Orange and Rockland does not provide a forecast of rates. We could just, at probably at the worst, we might not save.
Break even.
But given this, I don't know how you feel about the electricity market going forward, but obviously there's a lot
Yeah.
of demand.
Well, I think the
Coming.
rates are going up. It's just hard to compare it. with
Yeah.
The future, which is more expensive with the past.
I know. Then if we went with the 1 year, we may be wishing at the end of the year we had gone for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, they're definitely not going down.
Right.
It's just how much will they go up? Yeah.
Any questions from trustee Turner or trustee Scherer to the deputy mayor on this subject?
No question. I mean, I don't know how rates don't continue to rise. I think Matt's exactly right. It's just a question of how much. So I think, locking in for a 2-year period makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Jed?
no, I have no objections to locking in for 2 years.
Okay.
Okay. All
All
right,
right. So the mayor and I will sign it. There's a DocuSign document we have.
make
So
a motion.
yes,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, not right now.
Yeah,
I mean.
okay, yeah, there is a DocuSign. Yeah, they sent it to me and I forwarded it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. Be resolved that the Village of Tuxedo Park, the contracts with the New York Power Authority to provide electrical power to the village public facilities for a period of 2 years, and the mayor and deputy mayor are authorized to sign a contract setting forth the same. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor? Oh, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay,
Thank you.
5-0. Thank you very much.
One question, Michelle. Do
Yeah.
we get any benefit from electing the full green option? In any of our community?
Oh, in the climate smart
Yeah.
task force, yeah, yeah, we should. That's a good point.
So maybe we'll get some kind of credit or eligible for a grant or something. Or something.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, the next item on the agenda involves engineering proposals. Since mid-September, Weston and Sampson has submitted 5 separate proposals relating to various engineering items in the village. I don't know whether every member of the board has had a chance to review these proposals. My wife was good enough to prepare a summary this afternoon, so I apologize to trustee Turner and trustee Scherer that they don't have copies in front of them. One of the proposals is DEC mandated. One of the proposals is Pond 3 bridge replacement, which is an ongoing project. And then 3 of the proposals, the roadway coring, ArcGIS and Summit Road have yet to be started. And with respect to these 5 proposals, they amount to a substantial amount of money. So I think we should discuss them. With respect to that, I think we should prioritize them. Obviously, a mandated proposal is one that we have to address sooner rather than later. Then the question of whether the engineering firm of Weston and Sampson is entitled to additional funds for the ongoing work that's being done at the bridge is the second issue we have to discuss. And then we can talk about the 3 proposals that I delineated, which have not been started, and what the priority is for those, and based upon what the fees are, whether we're prepared at this point to engage in them. So does anybody have any comments they'd like to make on these 5 proposals, either individually or one at a time?
Why don't we do them one at a time? And it sounds like you laid out a good strategy of dealing with the easiest ones first. The mandated one seems to be one why don't we just knock them off one at a time? And if you don't mind, just because I'm driving, I don't have documents in front of me, if you can just discuss the amounts as we go through it, that'd be helpful.
Okay, I'll accept your recommendation, trustee Scherer. So, as everyone is aware, there's ongoing SSES work on the various sub-basins within the village, sewer work mandated by the DEC. And according to Weston and Sampson, they finished phase 2, and we are required to provide a plan with respect to phase 3. I can enumerate the sub-basins. I don't know what they mean to anybody as we're sitting here, but they're completing phase 2, and phase 3 sub-basins will be 5, 8, 16, and 17. The work is supposed to be done as expeditiously as possible. It would begin immediately, and the engineering fee, and only the engineering fee, is $139,500. So I guess the first question is, having had prior work done by Weston and Sampson on phase 1 and phase 2, John, do you have any idea how this particular fee compares to the earlier fees we paid?
No, I have not compared them, so I don't know.
Okay. It's mandated work, but I think we should have some sense of what we paid in the past versus what we're paying now. I can't say it's apples to apples as I'm sitting here. I'm not sure if the scope of work for one particular basin is larger than another, but since they've been doing the work all along, it seems to me that the prices should be somewhat comparable with perhaps a little bump up for inflation. I'll invite comments on that.
It's a reasonable request. Yeah.
Okay.
Are these the types of things where each one, I don't know how many we have, there seems to be 4 sub-basins in this work. Are they all very similar and it's kind of cut and paste, or is it very specific engineering to each sub-basin?
I think the method of repair is somewhat repetitive, but I don't know if some of the basins are longer or shorter than each other. So I'd like to look at that.
Okay. Because in theory, there is inflation, but in theory, if they've done 4 other ones, they've engineered 4 different types of sub-basins, maybe they could have some savings.
Well, since we've got a meeting on the 20th, John, why don't you get us some comparative numbers?
Sure.
And perhaps some information from Weston and Sampson in terms of scope of work, if it's comparable, so that we have some idea whether this quote is consistent with the prior work and quotes they made in the past.
Sure.
Is that agreeable to everybody?
That's fine. I have one question. Is this a budgeted item?
Well, you know what, I'm looking right now to see if I can get Joe's most updated capital project spreadsheet that he created. Because I believe that each of the projects includes engineering, and the plan is to bond that out.
Right.
And I don't have it, I'm looking for it. I didn't, I could certainly find it and distribute it.
Well, I can tell you the SSES projects are on a yearly basis, the largest engineering projects we have going. And typically, we spend some of that money up front with the intention of bonding it, for long term, since the repairs are expected to be, a 20 or 30-year repair, if not more. So I think you're right that these are mostly bonded costs, but we should still be paying, a reasonable rate, whatever they are.
Does it make sense to have Weston and Sampson at the November 20th meeting to address questions that the board has?
That's certainly a good suggestion, and I will invite Joe Zongler, his rep, to appear by Zoom to answer our questions regarding each of these 5 proposals.
Okay, I pulled it up. I found it. I can't believe it. Okay,
Yes.
it's the first item, yeah. And if this is it, what we had been working with back in January, it's the engineering estimate was 230,000. Construction estimate 400,000. So what we prepared to bond out was the total 630,000.
Is that
So-
for those same sub-basins?
Yes.
The 4?
5, 8, 16, 17 isn't on this. I don't know if 17 was added, but it's not on this spreadsheet, but the engineering estimate was 230 and now they're saying 139.5. So I don't know how those numbers compare. We can ask them.
Yep.
Well, that sounds very favorable, though.
Yes, I like that.
Well, we need to
I'm
make
sure
sure.
there's a
samples-
glitch somewhere.
Like, maybe it's stuff already
I
done
don't
or
know where, but
something.
there's a glitch.
Yeah.
Or- Yeah,
Okay,
or maybe this is who knows,
All right.
but anyway, we were planning to bond it out.
okay. So we will get further information for the board and discuss it again on November 20th. So let's move to item number 2, Pond 3 Bridge Replacement. This is an additional ask over and above the original engineering fee, which was $43,800 as agreed. They're asking for an additional $22,000. John, I gave you an opportunity to look at the proposal. Could you tell us why they want this additional money?
They're claiming it needed additional engineering and there was additional lengths that were requested. And I think there were some lengths that were requested, given the slopes on the side of the dam.
Lengths of what?
I'm sorry.
Is this the railing, John, or is it something different?
Yeah, this is the railing and apparently that had to be engineered. You know, my question is, they're the ones that came up with the original engineering for the railing on Tuxedo Road. And I don't know why it would differ much, along the side of the pond number 3 at this point.
Yeah.
I do know there's 2 different types of railing, because of there's a different type that's immediately over the dam itself. And, I don't know if that's part of the reason, but we need to ask that question.
Yeah. I guess, this is obviously not my expertise at all, but it seems odd that the engineering costs would go up by 50% just to extend the railing on the road. That seems a little odd.
I'm sure it's more than that.
Yeah.
But this is a good one to maybe have Weston and Sampson explain to us.
The other thing, I guess, is what does that,
Just speak a little louder.
what does that mean for the construction cost?
Well, obviously, if there's added, material, there's added material costs and added installation costs. I guess the question is, did the bid documents reflect everything that Weston and Sampson wanted? And
How do we plan to pay for it?
Again, that was going to be bonded,
The whole thing?
but it came in higher than we had anticipated. And we passed the bond resolution. We would just have to go back and amend the bond resolution to increase the
Okay.
amount.
We should ask them for impacted construction costs of railroad. If,
Is that contained within the proposal? I don't know. I have a copy.
I'm not aware of the construction documents changing, so I think they bid on the full length of whatever was requested from Weston and Sampson. But we can double check that one.
Yeah, John, that's the way I read it too. I thought it was just the engineers. So that's what seems odd because it's the actual dam, but we're not changing any construction on it. If it's just the railing, it just seems a little bit odd to me. But again, this is well outside my area of expertise.
Anything else? So we'll also pass that along till November 20th. Hopefully someone from Weston and Sampson will be able to answer all our questions. Okay, moving on to number 3, establish an ArcGIS online organization. Not my area of expertise. Is anybody, John, do you have information on that?
John, you want to take it?
This
I
was in
can-
response to the meeting we had the other day,
Yes,
wasn't it?
Exactly.
You
So
can,
there's a couple of issues, or not an issue, but we actually have a very sophisticated GIS system which maps our sewage system, identifies where the fire hydrants are. We're starting to populate that with stormwater information. What I think this is related to, John, correct me if I'm off base here, and Michelle as well, is related to the road network and getting that on the system. Is that what this is related to? Or is this, yeah, go
Here's a
ahead.
copy of the, here, John.
I had scope of services. Sorry, the scope.
Would you be more comfortable if we had Weston and Sampson explain this?
Yeah, I know we discussed the road network and adding other things to it, but it's not clear if it's just the roads or if it's additional items also. So we
let's
could ask
just,
Weston and
let's
Sampson
just,
to do it.
let's make sure Joe, can come and explain it. I'm comfortable. How much is this for, by the way? I'm curious.
This is $10,000.
Yep, okay. Joe will be able to explain it to us. I think we should move on to the next one. Is the next
Okay.
one the coring?
The next one is the coring, but before we
Okay.
get there, Michelle, do you have any idea with this $10,000, should we approve it? Where would it come from?
Well, I was just thinking about that, to take a look at where we are in, engineering fees year
Okay.
to date.
So this would be from
and
the
maybe We
budget.
could take a look if we could get it out of the budget.
Yep, budget. Okay. All right, great. All right,
So,
thanks.
on the coring, this definitely came out of our last meeting, for the long-term, from the long-term planning, committee meeting. There, as you, I think, are all aware, we approved, a reserve study, and we've been working with an outside firm to, complete that reserve study. Just so I don't shock people on the phone, I won't give an amount, but one of the very large items in that study, annual expense, is related to the repair of our roads. And this is repair and maintenance over time. And there's a big discrepancy between what we've been spending and what is being proposed to reserve on a go-forward basis. And again, I'll use Jed's phrase, not an area of my expertise, but one of the ways to determine whether, what kind of repair our roads require is to take core samples of the roads, and that will determine how much we need to scrape off, which determines the expense of the project. And so the problem we have right now is we don't really have a good sense for the shape that our roads are in, which shouldn't surprise any of us, given that we're catching up on trying to understand the shape of all of our aging infrastructure, whether it's the sewage, the stormwater system, etc. So this is candidly a strategy, which I think is a smart strategy for us to get a better handle on what we should be setting aside on an annual basis for road repair. So again, I think given that we're going to have Weston and Sampson come on November the 20th, we can table this, but I think with an 80% accuracy rate, I think I've accurately described what this is about. I'm curious what the proposed amount is for the project.
It's a not to exceed fee of $20,000.
Yeah. So I will say, I think that given the numbers that we're talking about, 20,000 is money well spent.
You can't just, I don't think it's fair, Josh, for you to tease us
Yeah.
with respect to the,
The proposed annual amount was
Yeah.
$1.1 million.
Okay, all right, well,
And-
we all have to be on the
and-
same page. Yeah,
And we've been spending around 300,000.
right.
And the question is that the right number? Is the 1.1 million the right number? Intuitively, my gut says it's not 1.1 for the very simple reason that we have lots of roads and they're treating all of the roads exactly the same. But we all know we have lots of roads that are rarely, if ever, driven on. And so, anyway, this is going to help us be more accurate in our forecasting, which again, I think will be money well spent.
I just want to add, Josh, this proposal is just for the projects we've identified for 2026 and 2027. It's not every road.
Okay.
But
Do we have a list of?
Yes,
Yes,
there's
we
a
have-
list.
we have a
The
list of
list is Weewar Road, Laurelard Road, Circuit Road, Tower Hill, Pepperidge, Westlake, Pawtucket, Camp Comfort, and East Lake Stable.
And not the entire road.
Yeah,
All right, well,
okay.
we'll certainly have to
So-
discuss what portions of the road, but obviously Westlake Road, repaving all of Westlake Road would be somewhere around $1.1 million. All right, we'll table this and discuss it further with Weston and Sampson on the 20th. So we're gonna have a busy night. The only question is, in terms of paving, we have a budget, and the budget's what,
375, but we didn't spend anything last year. And so the money just went into unallocated surplus. So I would propose that we use that money, take it out of surplus, because now that we have Ward Paving, and I've asked Jared about this to write a letter to them, since we have them coming next spring, why don't we just capitalize and get a lot of work done? Because they are not easy to get to commit
Yeah,
to
I-
doing our
I-
projects.
That makes a lot of sense to me because we all know that there's a cost associated with just setting up and bringing them in.
Yeah.
The other thing that Weston and Sampson said that was very interesting in terms of cost savings is that you can take the surface material that you're stripping off, grind it, and reuse it as a potential cost saving. So I think that's something that we absolutely want to be looking at as well. I think that's a conversation we should be having with Weston and Sampson.
anything else on this item, or we move on to the last proposal?
Sorry, hey, quickly on that,
Yeah.
obviously for environmental reasons, it's great to reuse it, but there is, I understand that there's a longevity for new versus old, so we should just take that into account when we look at.
100%. And I asked that question, Judd. You should ask the same question. But it actually, when I asked the question, it did seem like there was a bit of a free lunch, and you and I both know there are no free lunches, but this came pretty damn close to it. And there is very significant costs associated with transporting that material off property, but then also disposing it. So to the extent we can use it, it's not even for environmental reasons. It's just it's cost, and so you're balancing, using old material with longevity. And so Weston and Sampson can explain that better than I can, but it did seem like it could make sense.
No, but
And
if
they
you've
were
already,
also, no, they were also talking about an additive to milled millings that other municipalities have done that makes it stronger. So we could ask
Exactly.
him to explain
great.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
great.
It's not
Josh,
like
if
you're
you-
just, you're
yeah, if you-
reusing and strengthening, based, using new technology, old millings, if that's the right term, and getting a better product.
Great. If you got comfortable with it, I'm 100% comfortable with it.
Well, I mean, listen, we should all get comfortable with it. Let's ask the question. But let's have the expert explain it to us.
Okay, next item, and we'll start with the proposed cost, because that's large, is the Summit Road retaining wall reconstruction. You have that up on your screen?
Yeah, that's why
Michelle?
I'm surprised that this original fee is so high, because what he gave us initially for engineering was 19,600. And here he's saying the original fee was 73,200.
This is just engineering,
Yeah,
100?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'll get
mean,
it.
parts of my wall have fallen that are bigger than that, and it costs, the construction costs a fraction of that to fix.
Well,
I know.
what's the
I-
proposed construction cost?
The
That was,
proposed construction cost
you have
is
a-
320,000.
That's insane.
okay.
But, so, obviously it was
I mean,
underestimated.
like that kind of,
I don't know.
that leads me to question a lot of this stuff. Cause
That's really high. He would have to really
that's like the
explain that.
tuxedo tax that we're getting.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we obviously have questions about that. We don't have to discuss it any further here. He's gonna have to answer some pointed questions on how we reach those numbers. And so we will table all 5 proposals to November 20th.
Okay.
Anybody have any problem with that? Nope, okay. It's a short agenda. Next item is the issue of rebuilding the truck engine. Jeff received the quote today, which I forwarded to everybody. John answered a couple of questions we had, so let's go through that again. What is this truck, John, and what is it used for?
It is a large dump truck, predominantly used for sanding and plowing during the winter. And if there's any large construction projects during the remainder of the year, it serves as a large dump truck for moving material.
Yeah, the interesting thing is the mileage, I don't know if it's, I asked Jeff what the mileage was, is very low. It's about 30,000 miles, he told me. And it is a 13-year-old truck. And the question becomes, why does it need a rebuild on the engine? And the supposition is because of underuse.
Okay.
All right, so I asked Jeff to come to tonight's meeting to perhaps explain the use of the truck and what his thoughts are with respect to it. Since I asked him this afternoon and he was busy with the water main break by Steve's Pizzeria, he's not available, but perhaps we can discuss this again on November 20th, and we can put our questions to him as whether this is necessary. One thing I will tell you, a new
Yeah.
truck,
No. What's the rebuild?
the rebuild of the, oh, I'm sorry, Josh. It's the rebuild of the engine.
Yeah, but how much is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. The rebuild of the engine is a total of $22,000.
Yeah, and a new
That's all-
truck?
New truck is close to $200,000
Oh,
as
wow.
an estimate from Jeff that I got this afternoon.
Okay.
So we have to get a sense of whether we need this truck. I said, what if we don't make the repair? He
Right.
said, we'll have one less truck available for salting and plowing. And,
Okay.
you
Well,
know,
that matters.
that matters in this
Yeah.
village. It's like
Yeah.
the garbage contract. There are certain
Yeah.
basic services we as an elected board have to provide. We can go back and forth on some items, but it's sort of basic service to the residents.
Does he need a big dump truck to do plowing and salting, or could,
Well, that's what's wondering.
that seems overkill?
Well, that's not a question I can answer because I didn't ask him that specific question. So perhaps I can follow up with Jeff tomorrow and get everybody an answer to that question, whether it's really necessary to keep this truck in his fleet. Because we obviously are not going to buy a new one at $200,000, but how this will affect plowing and salting and sanding during the course of the winter.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to everybody on that. All right. Anything further on that? Hearing nothing, The next item is executive session to discuss certain complaints made with respect to water bills and other village services by individual residents, and to get attorney advice on the same. I see our village attorney is present. So I'll make a motion that we enter into executive session for that purpose. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Tenari. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Close the door.
I didn't read your memo that you sent me yet. Sorry.
Which one?
Hold on one
Don't
second.
on mine.
Oh.
We
You're-
were getting
we're not here-
inundated with
we're
stuff.
Aye.
Okay, we're out from executive session. I guess we could open the doors. There's nobody here. Would you open the doors at least? And we have one resolution. Do we have an address for Guazzoni? Does anybody know it off the top of their heads?
27
The
East
property's
Summit
located
Road.
on West Summit Road.
West Summit Road.
West or east?
Well, the address is actually East Summit, isn't it?
The property is located on West Summit Road.
Okay,
Really?
all right,
The property in question,
Okay.
where the trees are.
all right,
Yeah,
all right.
trees
good.
are-
Okay, be it resolved that after due consideration, the Board of Trustees has agreed to permit the owner of the property on West Summit Road who requested that the village provide him with additional time to remove storm-related debris. That request is granted to the extent that the property owner will have until February 1st of 2026 to remove all storm-related debris. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by the deputy mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I hereby move that we adjourn this special meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Scherer. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. See you guys on the 20th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, everyone.